Well, hello everybody. It has been absolutely ages since I have gone live across my social media feed. Not for any particular reason. I've just been doing other things with my socials and just haven't got around to doing as many lives as I used to. But I thought today would be a great time to jump back on board because a lot of people are starting to think about 2023. Quite rightly, it's going to be here before we know it. And as a business, we like to forward plan and get a little bit organized. And I totally get that. But what I thought I'd share with you today is the fact that I am not currently planning for 2023. And I wanted to explain why. And this might resonate with some of you, but I also want you to know that there is no hard and fast rule here. There's no right and wrong about when you do your planning. But for me, right now, I'm still working. I'm still doing things. I'm still in November. I'm not in 2023 yet. And what I do see sometimes is people switching off the rest of this year to start focusing on next year. And yet there's still some precious weeks left of this year that are going to make a difference. And I don't want to waste those. I want to be as impactful as possible for the remainder of this year. Plus, there's still things that are on my list that I want to be able to tick off. So, whether it's a goal or objective that you've set that you're still striving towards, maybe it's a project that you've still got to complete, maybe it's some background admin stuff that you just really want to get done. For me, this time now isn't about sitting down and taking time out for planning next year. It's about finishing what I want to do this year, getting those projects finished, ticking off all of those tasks so that I'm in a really strong position when I go into next year. By giving up on those things now and saying, oh, well, we're nearly at the end of the year anyway, I'm missing out on that precious time. I'm also missing out on the opportunity that having them done will give me when I go into next year. Now, even though I'm not planning for next year and I'm not taking a day out of my diary to plan or anything like that at the moment, I am, of course, thinking about it because I think it's hard not to. As a business owner, we're always thinking about what is coming next. We get excited about what we're going to do. And I'm really excited about next year. There's some amazing things for me in my business next year. And I am getting excited, but I am trying to stop myself jumping in and spending days and days planning and getting all into that when I've still got things to do in my business right now. Yeah, there's projects that I want to finish, but more importantly, for me, December's has always been a little bit of a mop up from this year, but also putting things, particularly functional things, into my business that is going to help me when I go into next year. So if right now you're thinking, oh, I must be failing somehow because I'm not doing my planning yet and everyone's talking about planning, you are not. You are not failing yourself at all. You've just got your eye on a few different things. Now, for those of you that maybe have achieved everything and you're like, actually, I'm ahead of my goals, I've achieved what I set out to, all of the projects that I've wanted to do this year, I've done. Amazing. Well done, you. But why not think about what could you do now between now and the end of the year that would give you a head start going into the new year? Don't wait for the new year to start. Use this time wisely. What could you put in place? Maybe you've been thinking, do you know what? I want to get some automation in, but I've never had the time to sit down and do the workflows. Do them now. Maybe you've been thinking about that new bit of software, having the time to learn it. Do it now. This is a great opportunity to get some basics in. So even if you have already achieved the things that you wanted to this year, you can still do something that is going to really set you off in the right way next year. So there are no hard and fast rules with planning. So whether you stop and do planning now, this is not me saying you shouldn't, but this is just me saying it doesn't have to be done right now. Hi, Ella. Thank you. We have time. You know, if you've got projects that haven't been finished yet, you still have time. If you've got goals you've not quite achieved yet, you've still got time. This is what we need to remember. There are actually still 5 weeks left, and it is amazing what you can achieve in 5 weeks when you put your mindset to it. So don't give up this year. focus on this year. We are still in November, folks. We're not in January 2023 yet. Focus on what you need to get done this month. Focus in on what you need to get done next month. And if you've done it all already, congratulations. But what else could you do to really put yourself in a strong position for next year? So that's what I'm doing in my business. And, you know, I love planning and I'm itching to get going because I love it. But I also know that it's time away from doing some other key things in my business at the moment. You know, there's some things that I want to finish. There's some projects that I want to get finished. And there's some background stuff around automation and workflows and so forth that I want to get embedded into my business so that I can take advantage of them when I get into January next year. So don't panic if you haven't done it yet. You've got plenty of time. I also find that that week between Christmas and New Year, where you've got that downtime, a lot of thoughts come into my head during that period of time. And previously, when I have done some planning in November or December, the things that I think about between Christmas and New Year often change what it is that I want to focus in on. So then I've got to redo the plan anyway. So I use this time to bed things in, get stuff done, tick things off and get ready. And then the period between Christmas and New Year is when I've got that clarity where I can just sit and think about things, and things come a little bit easier than they do at other times. It's not forced planning or forced creation. It just tends to happen quite naturally. And that means that when I get into the new year, I've got these fresh, amazing ideas that I can start exploring. And that first week of January is all about bedding that in for me. And that's why I run my planning day in January. Previously, years ago, I used to do one in December as well. But as I've said, it just wasn't as productive as the one in January. So January planning happens in January. November work happens in November. So let me know your thoughts. This is just what I think. You know, for me, this is what works for me because I'm still forging forward, folks. There's still amazing things that I want to get done this year. And there's still things on my list I'd really like to get in place for next year and get a head start on. So share with me your thoughts. What are you working on at the moment? Are you planning right now? Or are you like me and you're thinking about it and you're getting excited about it, but you're in the now, you're in the present doing what you need to do? So have a fabulous day and I hope to speak to you all soon.